What's up out there, YouTube? It's Skid Marks. We're back with another unboxing. Hot Toys again with one we've been waiting on for a long time. And when I say a long time, I mean a long time. We'll talk about that and more in the video when we actually unbox the figure. Can't wait for this one, so let's jump right in. Please do follow the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, do all those great things. We live stream over on Twitch, so if you want to follow us over there too, that greatly helps us. Kind of with interaction, things like that. And we can talk to you during the stream. So if you see us talking to anybody today, it was during the live stream on Twitch. So come on, check us out over there. We do a lot of gaming and things over there as well. But I appreciate you checking out the YouTube comment. Again, hit that like button and let's jump right into it. All right. So like I said, this is a new Hot Toy figure. We've been waiting on this one a long time. So a long time we've been waiting on this one. I ordered this one here. I wrote it down because I actually didn't want to forget it. So I ordered this figure. I pre-ordered this figure in January of 2023. So over a year and a half ago, we pre-ordered this figure. So pretty crazy that it's been that long that we've had this one on pre-order, and we just got it this month. It's been delayed a bunch, but even before that, this figure was teased. I think this figure was teased probably in like 2021 or 2022. This figure is actually the original figure that made me want to get into Hot Toys collecting. So it's kind of funny because I saw this figure, I saw the promo for it essentially for this figure, and I really liked it. And so I said, okay, I want to get into this, but this figure wasn't available yet. It was just like a promo that they had done. So I got some other figures, and you can see them behind me now. But we just now got this one, so it's funny that I've got like basically a whole collection of figures before I actually got the one that I've been waiting on forever. So kind of funny that it's been that long. So some other things right off the bat on this figure. So this is the Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Star Wars, the Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. Been waiting on this one a long time. It was always like a dream of mine to have this figure and the Anakin Clone Wars like back to back, basically doing their thing. But now that we even have Mace Windu, and we unboxed him a few nights ago, you can find that YouTube video is going to go live, I think tonight. But you can see him down there on the bottom shelf. But Mace Windu, kind of thinking like a whole diorama with all three of them is going to be pretty cool. So to have him, Anakin, and Mace kind of on one shelf will be really cool. And then I can also have the new Anakin that we're going to get, which is an Attack of the Clones Anakin. We can have him up here with Padme, R2D2, and C3PO from that movie. So some pretty cool dioramas that we're going to have going on, or just shelves in the detail that we're going to have displayed. So excited to get this one opened and see what we got. So let's go ahead and start to cut the tape on this bad boy. Okay. So here we go, chat. Long time coming. Does it look sweet, chat? Does it look awesome? Oh, man. I've been waiting a long time for this figure. This was a light. Let's turn it around. Oh, it's glorious. Oh, I forgot that he even has the helmet that comes with him. I forgot that he had the interchangeable head. I mean, I'm always going to probably have the Ewan head on for when I'm displaying him, but I forgot about that. Yep. So you see that down there in the bottom corner here. He has the alternate Stormtrooper helmet down here. Not Stormtrooper, but clone helmet. Oh yeah, he's got a nice little. So if you could put it in his arm like that, that's going to be the move right there. So pretty cool. Yeah, it's got a lot of glare. Sorry. If I can move that. There we go. You guys can see that. So it's like him holding the helmet. He's got the lightsaber out to the side, cape flowing in the wind, and then the armor on. That's a pretty sweet pose. We might be copying that pose for the pose that we do. So awesome box though. I like this overall. So let's go ahead and and break into the plastic. Check this out, chat. So took the top cover off here, and in the inside you have a nice little display, and even a little bit of a tease, because now that we've seen this actually, so you got Obi-Wan there going up against Grievous. And the funny thing about that now is just a few days ago, they announced that Hot Toys is doing a General Grievous. So they've always had the sideshow General Grievous, but generally it gets pretty poor reviews from people that have gotten it, saying that mainly that the joints are loose or that you can't get him to pose very well. Well, Hot Toys is making one, and I guarantee you it's not going to have all those issues. It is a pricey figure. I did see it the other day. It's over $300, pushing close to four, I think. So it's an expensive figure, but they do it right, and it's die cast. I haven't looked to see if it's die cast yet, so to see if his like metal parts are metal. But if that's the case, then he's going to be a very cool figure. But that is a cool little in art. You know, it would be cool if you took all these little in art things and you made a big collage and you framed it. That would be a pretty cool piece of artwork. And then you like hung it behind all of your Hot Toys. That'd be pretty cool. All right, so let's take this little art slip out here. So quite the different box style from the Mace Windu we unboxed a few nights ago. I guess because he's more of the traditional movie version. So check this out. You have Obi-Wan sitting in there in the little clamshell. So good view of him there. So there we have him in the shell here. I'm trying to keep most of the glare off of him. See me moving him around. There you go. Now you can see it. It's pretty cool. I thought that was snow falling for a second, but it's like crackling electricity. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into the actual figure here. I'm interested to see, because this figure was the same exact cost as the Mace Windu figure. And while I was happy with the Mace Windu figure, I'm kind of hoping I'm happier with this one. If that makes sense. Let's just take this whole thing out of here. Pretty cool looking right off the bat. So right off the bat, I do notice that we do have the LED saber. So this one is going to be an LED lightsaber effect as well. I couldn't remember if this one had the LED or not, because it was announced so much earlier than Mace Windu, but it took them so long to make it that I guess they were able to add that in. So let's start going through some of the stuff here. Oh, that's a very, very cool accessory. We've had two cool accessories like this. So pulling the blade out here, we have the motion blade. So the motion lightsaber blade. One thing I'll say about this right off the bat is this looks very light blue. This looks it looks almost teal. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's kind of interesting to me, because I think of Obi-Wan's saber being more of a true blue color. But maybe it's due to the LED stuff. I'm not sure. But so you get the motion saber. That's one thing you get. You get the regular, still saber, which is probably how we'll display him with that down to the side. You get a number of different hands here. So you get one closed-fisted hand with the Clone Wars era armor gauntlet on there, and I'm gonna try. I couldn't get it to do it for the Mace Windu, but they do have weathering on there, so you can kind of see the weathering on there. I think if I maybe just back it up and show you like this, maybe you can see it just as well. Um, some weathering on there. Again, it's just like blaster residue or something like that. It's kind of what it reminds me of. Or like if you were cutting through people with a lightsaber, you might have some residue from some droids on your hands. Right. All right, so you got another opposite hand closed fisted saber holding hand. So you got your left and your right. Nothing too crazy there. Then it looks like you have Obi-Wan's signature two finger pointed pose. So you can try to do his signature lightsaber pose with the two fingers pointed and him kind of going up against Grievous. So you can do that. So you can kind of see that there. So pretty cool. Glad they included that as a unique one for Obi. And then you have the outstretched force hand. So just an outstretched, fingers open hand. Nothing too crazy there. So that's all the hands you get. So 4 extra hands, and then he's got a blaster hand and just an open palmed hand on him in the box here. So we'll get to actually taking him out of the box here in a minute. But so that's what you got there. So a couple hands. Let's go ahead before we take out the rest of the accessories here, and we will go ahead and take Obi-Wan out and stand him up. That way he looks very nice. One thing I noticed right off the bat is that his limbs are more jointed, whereas the Mace Windu we had the other night, he felt not frail, but he just felt like his joints were a little loose. But let's go ahead and we'll show you what he looks like just with the plastic on. One thing we do have to talk about is the cape. So interesting, interesting. So there he is, out with the plastic on. I gotta say, he looks really good overall. Just a first impression, a little clean, but I kind of like that. He does have some wear in some spots. We'll talk about that, but let's go ahead and get some of this plastic off. Could have made this piece of plastic easier to get off. We'll talk about this in a moment, but the cape, one cool thing about it, it's magnetic, so it just pops right off. So let's go ahead and get the base out as well so that we can stand him up without fear of knocking him over. So we do get a standard base here. No fancy coverings or anything like that. Just your standard Star Wars base. No sand. Just the standard one. You do get a crotch grabber for a stand accessory there. Let's make sure they spelled everything right. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yep, they got it right. Was it Hasbro? I think it's Hasbro that messed up that one time. They misspelled Skywalker on all of those Hasbro tours. So there he is, just standing straight up out of the box. Really happy, just right off first impressions. Really, really happy with how he looks. I can tell you. Well, we'll talk about that when we get over to. But first impressions, really, really cool. I like that this cape is just magnetic, so we can just say pop. We just pop him right on. Very, very nice, easy feature right there. Not too much messing around, because I think the Anakin cape is like way harder. You have to you have to put on a whole different armor chest piece thing, and man, it's annoying. So glad that that is so easy to put on, and I'd like a couple aspects about it that we haven't talked about yet, but we'll get to all that. So let's get the rest of the accessories out of the box, and then we can continue to talk about the figure. Okay. So next accessory, let's just get some of the normal stuff out of the way. So we have extra ball joints, nothing crazy there. Let's see, they have an extra thing in here as well. Two very, very, very tiny screws. I don't know what those are for, but they're in a piece of plastic there. We'll look that up in the manual. You have your pieces here that are for your battery pack for the LED lightsaber. So you have the clips that you can either clip it onto the character or the base, and then the actual battery pack here that you run the power to. You have the eye sculpting tool. So this is how you can move the eyes around. Funny that this figure does come with the eye sculpting tool. But the Mace Windu did not. And keep in mind, these figures were the same price. So interesting that overall, right out of the box right now, we seem to have more functionality and features with this Obi-Wan than we actually do with the Mace Windu. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going here. So we have the wired lightsaber here. So we have Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber hilt with the wire for the LED lightsaber. So very, very cool. Very detailed hilt, as you would expect from Hot Toys. Looks great. I do love the only thing I'll say is I think the neck is a little bit thinner than that, actually, in the movies, which is what I like the most about Obi and Luke's saber is that they have the thin neck. But they did get the pommel hands right, where he has the more grenadier, whatever you want to call it, type handles. So very cool. It looks like that cord might also be longer than the one that we got with Mace Windu, which was a gripe of mine, if you remember that, was that the Mace Windu was too short. Then we have the non-LED saber hilt, so the same hilt, just with no LED. Oh, interesting. So, take a look at this. I don't know if you guys can tell just by looking right there, but I can tell looking at it here. Um, I was complaining about the neck being not thin enough on the LED saber, and it looks like that is actually because of the LED component, because you can tell that this one is thicker and the one without it is thinner and looks more realistic. That's interesting. But they both look really good. I mean, you would never be able to tell. It's not that big of a difference. So, not too crazy there. Okay. Now, the next two are probably the coolest features. Actually, don't know. What is this? I didn't see this until just now. Oh, that's an interesting one. So he has, I'm guessing these are like binoculars. So you can see that. He has these like binocular type accessories. I'm guessing that's what that is. I have to look that up. I'm pretty sure we'll look in the manual here in a minute, but I'm pretty sure those are supposed to be like binoculars. And then let's do the hollow puck. So you get a hollow puck, and anytime you get a hollow puck, you also get a hollow person, hologram that is. And what better hologram to have for this figure than his Padawan, Anakin Skywalker, in his Clone Wars getup with his cape and everything flowing down behind him. So that is very cool. Um, that's awesome. Get an Anakin. I don't think we have an Anakin one hologram. So very cool. I wish they would add a light up feature to the holograms, the little ones. I think that would be pretty cool. I really like that though. I think that's a cool, very clearly. Like I know some of the holograms, it's hard to tell any distinctive features, but you can just tell by the way he's standing that is the man himself, Anakin Skywalker. And then lastly, the final piece. Whoop, we lost it. is his helmet. So his clone helmet, the Clone Wars era. And don't, I mean, I'm not one that knows all the different phases of the helmets, so forgive me. I'm not going to even try to name what phase of the helmet this is, but it looks very good, I have to say. It's going to be very hard. I do like that it's a helmet too, so I guess it breaks apart. We'll take a look at this. I'm guessing somewhere it must break apart so that you can just put this on instead of his head. But I like that you can just hold it. He'll be able to just hold it as well. So I think that's pretty cool. So you have the helmet there. I don't think any of this, no. The visor is stationary. He's got a little bit of damage here on the chin. That's kind of cool, like a little bit of a scuff there on the chin. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but kind of cool. Lots of good damage detail, just wear and tear all over that helmet. Cool. Okay, let's set that there. I think that's everything in the box other than the instructions here. So let's go ahead and get those because I want to look at just a few things. So not nearly as big of a, well, I don't know. It's not nearly as big as the Mace Windu one. Why was the Mace one so big? Okay, so we got some just normal stuff here. So let's see, what are they talking about? There's a peg in here that helmet will fit onto. So you actually take the head all the way off if you want to wear him with the helmet. Oh, that's interesting. So this visor is magnetic. Ah, that's cool. So you can't take the visor off if you want, or you can magnetic it right back on. I like the look with the visor. I don't know about you guys, but you can display it without. See what else we got here. Other neat little tidbits. So it talks about attaching the LED lightsaber. Basically, same thing with Mace. You can take his cape and unbutton him from the back, and he has the ability to run that cord. So those little tiny screws, they did this as well. So they've done it where those little screws screw into the side, yeah, into the side of this lightsaber hilt, and then you can hang the lightsaber hilt off of his belt. I don't know why they don't just make a thing on here that is able to clip or just make it magnetic. Like, why are we, what, all of these other things are magnetic, or we have LED, or, you know, whatever, and they want to do a screw to hang the lightsaber off his belt? That, you guys gotta fix that. That you can't keep doing that. All right, I think that's pretty much it. Cool beans. So let's go ahead and start to talk about the different aspects of the figure, and we'll go ahead. We'll test the LED. This cord does seem longer. Oh, it's definitely longer. So this cord is definitely longer than the Mace one. That's interesting. Yeah, why was the Mace one so short? I have to say this one does look like it is lighting up a little bit more than the Mace Windu one. Let's see if we turn it off. Yeah, that one does seem to have more light. Let's try it with the normal. It's funny because the color of the LED makes the saber look more like the color it's supposed to be also. Oh yeah. That looks good. If you guys can see that, let me turn the spotlight off. So yeah, pretty sweet. It does look pretty good. I think this one looks better than the Mace one. This one is noticeable. The Mace one seemed very dull. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So maybe we do take the time here to go ahead and run the LED lightsaber. All right, let's turn the lights back on. Actually, what I've seen is this just clips on right. Oh shit, chat. That wire got hung on some stuff, but I didn't mess anything up there. Damn. You good, Ewan? You good, my brother? There. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about this figure overall. I'm super pumped about this figure. Like, this is probably right. I mean, it is top three in my collection right now, right off the bat. Um, I love a lot of things about this figure. So let's just start talking about aesthetics first. So, aesthetic wise, just straight off, first appeal of the figure, it looks amazing. The quality of everything that they've done. So, what I mean by that is the cape. Not only is it just a cape, so like when we had Mace Windu and he had his robe, he had just the robe. There was no wire or anything in that robe. This cape actually does have a wire down both edges of the sides of it. So you can actually, if you can kind of see me do some things over here, you can actually wire the cape to do some kind of things where it looks like it's blowing in the wind. So kind of like that. So very, very cool that they decided to do that on the cape. But not only did they do that on the cape, all of his tunic down here, so all of this around his waistline, all of this also has a wire in it. And the front sash right here that is flapping right here, it has a wire down both sides of it. So there's all sorts of articulation you can do with his clothes to make it look like he's blowing in the wind. Um, I can't wait to do some pretty cool things with this figure inside of the detail because him with Anakin, because Anakin I think has some similar things with his poncho and things like that. Where if I put the poncho on Anakin and he has the cape and they're standing back to back, and you got this kind of wind blowing in the them blowing in the wind effect, oh man, it's going to look so good. So lots of quality things just that they did throughout the whole figure. Let me take a look at the overall head sculpt here. So I did take a quick look at it earlier, but let me take just another glance at it just to see the quality here. So yeah, I mean they've got this Ewan head sculpt kind of down at this point. They really they don't have to change much at this point because I think the last few Obi-Wans that we've got um, have all looked really good, and this one the same way. This one does have the articulatable eyes, so that's pretty sweet that you can articulate the eyes with this one if you wanted to have them kind of looking a bunch of different ways. But really cool. Would be interesting to see if they'd ever do an artesian Obi-Wan Kenobi so that you could do the beard also. I don't know that they've ever done one that has the live hair but also has a beard. So I think that would be pretty cool. And maybe a little bit of a challenge for Hot Toys. So um, head sculpt looks great. Um, really no complaints there. Like I said, all of the aesthetics as far as the paint, they have nice weathering on everything. The helmet is nicely weathered. His armor is nicely weathered. There's not much weathering to the clothing, but typically you're not going to get that out of Hot Toys. They don't weather the clothing very often. They will weather the armor pieces, like the armor pieces are weathered, but the clothing's not really weathered. They kind of leave that up to you if that's something that you want to do. He does have an under tunic underneath all of his armor here, so he has like kind of a black jumpsuit going on. And I think that's good that they did that because I don't think they did that on the Mace. Mace feels really stiff, where this figure feels much more articulatable and move, and he can move really well, and his joints are jointed. So it, really just a great job with this figure. I'm shocked at the level of difference between this one and the Mace Windu, to be honest with you. Um, So just going over aesthetics, I think that looks really good. Now going into the accessories, you do get the helmet, you do get the Anakin, you get a number of different hands, you get a number of different. You also get the. They don't say anything about this, but this has to be what this is, and I don't see it displayed like in a picture anywhere with him. But you do get the binoculars, so there's some binoculars here that he has with him. They don't talk about that at all in any of the stuff, but he does have that. And then he has a couple different hands, and he has the LED saber. So he also has the articulatable eyes. So really, this figure has more than the Mace Windu, because the Mace Windu did not have the movable eyes. He did not have clothing that had wires in it. And he did not. I thought his LED lightsaber, while he did have one, maybe I did it wrong. I had to go back and look. It was not as bright as this one. Um, so that's kind of odd. And just overall, the quality of the clothing and stuff here from the Obi-Wan seems to be on a higher level. So anyway, as far as look and then the accessories that you get, I think you get quite a few accessories. Yeah, because Mace, you don't get anything other than you got his armor, which this one already comes with, and you got his lightsaber, and that was about it. So yeah, this is, and you got the Yoda um, one. So this figure, in my opinion, for 279, which I believe is what this figure costs, was 279. This is a much better deal just because of the sheer amount of posability and the different aspects that they've added into the clothing to make it very unique. So this is the far superior figure in my mind. So we've gone over the look and feel. We've gone over the accessories, and we've gone over price. So price was, like I said, 279 for this figure. I think that's really actually a great price, considering, like I said, I think you're getting a much better figure here than you are with the Mace Windu. Um, I just think you are. You're getting also a separate head sculpt essentially here, a different headpiece as well, because you can pop this head off and you can display him with him actually wearing this helmeted look. So um, he has more looks. He has a better overall feel as far as quality to him. And the lightsaber LED wire was also longer on this figure. So I don't know. I don't know why the difference there, but it certainly seems like there was an effort there for there to be, or not, maybe not an effort, but they're certainly on different scales as far as quality. So let's get into a rating, right? So now we got to get into a rating. So I know that we gave the Mace Windu, because I was impressed with the Mace Windu when I got him. I gave him an 8.8. Um, and I thought that was reasonable for that figure. But now I'm thinking I may have gave him a little too high, because I'm going to have to go higher on this Obi-Wan than I probably. I don't know. He's a great figure. I do think they maybe could have thrown in a few more accessories. Like I said, they need to work on the belted lightsaber thing that they're doing as well. Just make that magnetic. Um, but as far as making the cape magnetic, the ease of all of the different aspects of his clothing, but then also adding the wires, they really knocked it out of the park. The head sculpts out of this knocked out of the park on that as well. So, um, tell you what, I'm going to give this figure a 9.1. 9.1 on this figure. I almost really want to go higher, but 9.1 because I know we have some figures still to come this year, and it seems like every time I open one, I'm just more and more impressed. So I hope that continues to be the case with the Hot Toys line. So really, just impressed with this figure. 9.1 overall. Great figure. All right, YouTube. I had a great time unboxing this one. Awesome figure. Really impressed with this one, to the quality, to the accessories you get. Really, really happy with it. A little bit shocked that it was maybe better in some aspects than the other Jedi that we've gotten, like Mace Windu. Just seems to be at an overall better quality, this figure, for the same price. So if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, probably want to go with this Obi-Wan over some of the other figures out there, because I've really been impressed with the quality of this figure. Going forward, we are going to do some other unboxings, so go ahead and check those out as they hit on the channel. Do come check us out also on Twitch. We live stream all the things we do here, so if you want to catch us on the live stream, you can certainly come over there, twitch.tv/skidmarks. You can find us over there, so please do that and follow us there. Otherwise, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that like button. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Let me know what you think about the figure down below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.